We want to support the person with dementia and their main carer as a couple, so we invite people to come together and we all have tea and coffee together for the first half of our meetings. But in the second half of our meetings, we've decided it's best to allow people the opportunity to be in a specialised group. So the carers will go together in one room so that they can talk to the other carers about the caring role. Some people have likened it to a bit like being in a war zone where you form very strong bonds with the other people who are in the war zone with you, and you become this very tight-knit group that support each other. We work hard to provide activities which are stimulating at the right pace. We do a sort of mixture of singing, discussions with prompts. We've just recently got money for Memory Bank DVD, so we can actually show original footage of Bradford Market in the 1950s, and we sort of, the ethos really for the people with dementia is that they should come and have fun and just feel normal, you know. So we adapt ourselves so that everything goes at their pace. We take the cue from them.
The memory tree is quite new and growing. What are your plans and hopes for it?
Yeah, well, we started really from just running the groups voluntarily and then formed the memory tree so that we could apply for funding because we found there was a need for these local groups. So we've founded 4 groups so far through partnership working, either with local churches is usually our partners, but one group is a community centre. But now that we've got the model established, it seems to work well, this half-time together, half-time apart. We're sort of looking to try and find other partners where we could get these established in other parts of Bradford. So at the moment we've got 2 in Shipley, 1 in Idle and 1 in Keighley. We have now got a partnership to get one going in Wyke, which will happen in the autumn. And then if we can get the Wyke one going, we can kind of, I suppose, define what the nature of partnership working is and what we put in and what we expect the partner organisation, which would be a local place because of this importance of the local.
Could you explain what the opportunity for the local churches is to support or get involved?
So churches themselves really want to know about dementia, so I've done a lot of work going to churches, running workshops, doing talks to congregations, which has 2 benefits. One, it helps the congregation to sit up and take notice and feel it's okay to talk about these things, which is quite a big barrier, but also it's attracted interest, so a lot of our volunteers have come to us through these sort of church networking kind of events. So I think it's a sort of 2-way thing, that we help the church by giving them the knowledge, but a lot of the time we benefit because we get another volunteer or 2.
Is there something you can think of that has really encouraged you and warmed your heart in relation to what you've seen happening as a result of this project?
Seeing the friendships forming between the people with dementia and the carers and each other in these groups really gelling. Volunteers who were very afraid of dementia coming in and realising, oh, you know, it's not what we thought it was. They are just normal people with some memory problems who get a bit confused, but, you know, the basics of how you interact are all still the same. So seeing volunteers, the first session is always awful for them because you don't know what to expect and you don't know what to do, but by the time they get to the end of that first session and people have laughed and had a good time, and knowing, you know, people feel they are doing something to help people with dementia, and because it's a condition that still has no cure, that's quite an important thing. I mean, for me personally, the hard thing is when a carer will come to you with problems you just can't solve and you think, how on earth is this person going to manage, and you're actually quite worried for people. Sometimes when people get to the end of their tether and you don't have an answer, that that can be quite difficult, but that's been amazing as well, that if you give people the chance to tell you how awful it is, they go away and somehow they find the strength to get to the next phase, and then they come back and say, oh, thank you so much, and you sort of think, well, all I did was stand there and go, oh. I didn't know what to say or do, but just listening to people and not interrupting or contradicting, just listening to what they're going through is far more valuable than I realised, you know. So people don't always want advice, sometimes they want just that listening ear.